Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I'll be sharing my award-winning pumpkin pie recipe just in time for Halloween. You see, after my divorce, I was seeking comfort food that would keep me and my 3 children happy and able to ignore the emotional trauma of the custody battle and losing our house and the dog dying. Kayla was 7, Skylar was 5, and Preston, my little angel, was 2. After their father told me he wasn't going to pay child support anymore, I dropped the kids off at school, polished off 2 bottles of Chardonnay, and cried in my bathtub, all before 11 a.m. It's then that I thought about the pumpkin pie that I had as a child and the comfort that it brought me. There's something about the sweet filling and crumbly crust of my grandpa's homemade pumpkin pie that makes me forget the past 20 years of mistakes I've made and the truly wretched and morally debased man that I chose to be the father of my children. I mean, who actually likes black licorice? You may also notice I have a special ingredient here. It's Xanax. I throw it in the pie to calm my nerves. Anyway, a few days ago, after a particularly rough battle in the Chicago court system, I walked past a pumpkin patch and I felt compelled to pick out these 2 beautiful pumpkins. They remind me of the pumpkin patches we had on the farm as a kid. You see, my grandfather was a farmer, and after the Great War, he would dictate his famous pumpkin pie recipe to my grandmother so that she could bake it. Unfortunately, he couldn't do it himself. Due to the battles in Normandy, he was a paraplegic. But he found 2 of his toes in the sand on the beach, and so he always wore them around his neck. And now I continue that tradition, and I wear it there too. Yep, safe and sound. When baking the pie, my grandmother always used cuisine art cooking tools. And you'll find an affiliate link down in my description if you should choose to buy them too. I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying you'll love them. So back to my story and my pumpkin pie recipe. I inherited my love of my grandfather's pumpkin pie and pumpkin patches. After all, I lost my virginity in a pumpkin patch. Billy James Bob Joey II. What a man. Or I guess he was a boy at the time, but to me he was a man. He deflowered me amongst the gourds. I always think back fondly to that moment when, laying amongst the pumpkin patch, I took a sweet bite of pumpkin pie to my lips and Billy James Bob Joey II told me that my boobies were more beautiful than my grandpapa's prize-winning pumpkins. So when I came across these pumpkins at the pumpkin patch after my ex-husband told me that he would destroy my life, I knew I had to pick these pumpkins up for me and my now 3 fatherless children to make into my grandpa's favorite pumpkin pie. Well, that's inaccurate. If you've been following my blog, you know that my children aren't necessarily fatherless now. I've recently found comfort and companionship in the arms of another man. His name is Jackson, and he has a Snap-on tool truck that he's working with until he can become an official carpenter of refurbished upcycled wood. My Jackson has recently gone vegan, so this is actually a vegan, gluten-free, keto-friendly recipe for pumpkin pie. To be honest, with all these modifications, my grandpapa is probably rolling in his grave. Well, I mean, he would if he had any limbs left. By the way, have you noticed that I've lost ½ a pound lately? It's because I've been making healthier choices like subbing in applesauce for butter. Anyway, we're out of time for today, so I'll get to the recipe in my next video. Make sure that you like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you are notified exactly when I upload that recipe. I'll see you guys next time.